right, so today we have some knife skill things to talk about, because if you're going to be in the kitchen cooking, you need to know how to use these knives. And I do hope that you're not just using those cheapy, cheesy knives that, you know, the Ginsu things or whatever that can basically cut through a tin can. Just because it can cut through a tin can doesn't mean it should. All right, so what I have here is a knife block that I've had for a number of years. These are Henkel's. And I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to give you kind of a field trip through the knives so you know what knife is for what. And then I'm going to show you how to sharpen a knife, because let me just tell you something. A sharp knife in the kitchen is your best friend. One, it's going to help you get the job done better. And two, it's safer. Dull knives cause more accidents than sharp knives. Okay, so remember that. First of all, this is the stone, and we're going to come back to this. This is how we're going to sharpen our knives. And then this one is a French knife. This is my first Henkel's, and you can see it's got a little divot out of it. I have no idea how that happened, except I have a feeling a child was involved in this. So I bought this one in the 80s sometime. Yeah, I was like 10, I think. Anyway, so this is my first chef's knife. This is when I learned how to use a chef knife. It's also called a French knife, and this is just very classic, and you know, you can't go wrong with one of those. This is a smaller version of the same thing. Also a Henkel, also a chef knife. And this is the new darling of all the cooking channels. And I have to say, at first I was like, I use a chef knife. And then I got really attached to this thing. This is called a Santoku, and it's basically a Japanese version of a chef knife. And if you notice, they have the blade ever so slightly angled, and there's these little dimples right along the blade on both sides of the knife. And this keeps whatever it is that you're cooking from moving away and from falling down or sticking rather to the knife, and it keeps it moving away and falling down, which is what you want. You don't want everything bunched up on your knife and then you have to move things around. You want to keep going, okay? The next thing is, yes, it's the big serrated bread knife, and it's used for bread. You don't want to be cutting anything else with this, just bread. This is called a carving knife, and you can see this is for great big pieces of meat. This is a junior carving knife. So you've got two different carving knives. You could use this one like for a roast beef or a turkey, and you could use this one for a chicken. And that means that you're slicing off pieces of meat. And then this is a boning knife, which I usually say, save this for the butchers. I don't use this. I've used this maybe once or twice. I don't bone chickens. I don't, but I will shortly, because I just bought a bunch of chickens from my CSA. So what this is a paring knife. This is how you pare an apple, or you can pare a potato or something, and you just basically skin with this, okay? And then another serrated knife. You could use this if it's nice and sharp for a tomato. Sometimes cutting tomatoes is better with something like this, or you could even use it for a hard squash to kind of get into the core, like a winter squash. That's that kind of thing. All right, so, and then these right here, these are just my steak knives, okay? I'm going to show you how now to do this. So here's our stone, and we are going to hold it almost like we're going to touche go. You see it's got these two little balls here. This is to protect you. You never put your hand up here. You put your hand down here. And if you buy a knife block like this, I got mine at Costco, and it was fairly inexpensive considering the quality of knives. They come with these stones, but this is classic. This is what chefs use, and there's for a good reason. So you hold it at about a 45-degree angle, I guess, or 90. Is that 90 degree? I don't know. Do the math. Straight, perpendicular from your body. We're going to use the Santoku to give you an idea. And then we want full action, going down one way and going down the other. And then you go on the other side of the stone and you do the same thing. Okay, so it's going to make noise, but I'm just going to show you. Now, one other thing too. Chefs are pedantic about their knives. They sharpen them every time they use them. I'm not quite so good about that, but I really should. And again, a sharp knife is a safe knife. So here you go. Down and up, down and up, down and up. You see I'm on the bottom now? Down and up. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, important, when you're sharpening your knife, you want to make sure that you're evenly doing both sides of the blade. Otherwise, you're going to get it unevenly sharpened. The other thing is, if you ever buy an electric knife sharpener and go grrr, like this through there, don't come crying to me and saying, it ruined my knives, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how much money you spend on it. I don't care if it's on TV. I don't care if it's in the biggest specialty shop in the world. It's not worth it. This is what you want to do. Okay? So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. All right? That's all you do. And you can do it as much as you want, and you'll see guys on TV, you know, whoops, sorry, doing it, and they're going 90 miles an hour. And you can practice and get that skill together if you want, but for what I need, I'm real happy just doing it like this and keeping it safe. And that's how you sharpen your knives.